Hello and welcome to part 16 of my Winds of Change video guides, The Gangs of Kaineng. This is another fairly straightforward quest. You just make your way through the enemies until the end. Sorry that sometimes there really isn't much else to say, that's all you do. These initial groups here I don't think are even Winds of Change enemies, these are just the normal Jade Brotherhood Knights. But you will encounter the advanced versions soonish. In this area there's Ministry of Purity allies as well, so you won't be fighting alone. You, I guess, can take advantage of that. As you can see right up there, there's a few Ministry forces fighting some Jade Brotherhood. You can, I guess, wait for that fight to end, or you can just interfere. It really isn't a very difficult quest, there isn't really that much to do. Yeah, this is just the Vajun Bazaar area, and you, well, I guess just follow the path I'm taking. These Ministry of Purity allies will not appear in the ally list, so you don't really have a way to tell if they're alive or dead, I guess. But there really isn't much reason to make sure they survive or whatever. If they were in the ally list, you could probably target them, but meh, doesn't matter. Well, you could target them more easily anyway. Yeah, aside from that, I don't know. I guess if I do videos like these again, I will speed up all the going through and fighting sections. Unless in the comments right down below this video, you let me know that you really don't want me to. Especially next video, please. Be ready for that. It's relevant. It's important. That video has a ton of editing and stuff removed. And there are fireworks outside. I hope they won't be too noisy. But yeah, the fights take a long time. There's lots of you and lots of the enemy, but it's not actually that difficult. The one thing that's important, I guess, in these Jade Brotherhood encounters is that the Jade Brotherhood warriors, which are axe warriors, I guess, and they use Cyclone Strike and Triple Chop. So they have some axe AoE attacks. And generally these aren't that dangerous. I mean, you can blind them, you can weaken them, you can put an aptitude on them. Normally melee enemies are not that dangerous. These guys, however, have Splinter Weapon, and I'm fairly sure they have probably 16 channeling magic, maybe even more. So their Splinter Weapon hurts. If they get into a group of your casters and Cyclone Axe, then they can quite quickly kill your backline, and you will see this happen quite a bit as I fight the Jade Brotherhood. So normally melee enemies in your backline aren't that dangerous because they will just be blinded and then do nothing. For these Jade Brotherhood Knights, I would suggest making them a priority. Possibly take care of the Elementalists first, but it might also be worthwhile to actually go for the Warriors first. Their Splinter Weapon AoEs are really quite powerful, and yeah, as I said, just watch, I guess this video not so much, but especially upcoming ones. You will see what happens when they get into my backline and get their AoEs off. It can be quite a pain. Obviously, that would be something that you could prevent with minions, but as I've also pointed out, minions are not super effective against the Jade Brotherhood, so I guess decide if you want to use them or not. I decided not to, but yeah, it really is up to you. And after the warriors, the rest of the Jade Brotherhood enemies aren't that dangerous. Maybe the Elementalists can be a bit annoying with their Sandstorm and various other Earth Magic AoEs, but that is not as damaging as the Splinter Weapon cast by these warriors. I'm not sure if how many attribute points they've been given. Possibly 16, possibly 20. it's going to be fairly high, and I'm also pretty sure they made some adjustments to them so they don't run out of energy, so they will be able to use Splinter Weapon a lot. Yeah, don't know their exact builds, but they are dangerous. Aside from watching out, though, there isn't really, I don't know, anything specific that you have to watch out for in this quest. As always, of course, try to not over aggro. Use a longbow to pull if it's convenient, and kill one group at a time. You have a bunch of allies here, and they also, because they are Ministry of Purity, they will have Winds of Change builds, so they will actually have decently powerful builds, but don't rely too much on them. And you saw right there, by the way, that the warriors standing inside my allies, the Winds of Change Ministry of Purity guys, they tore through them quite quickly using Splinter Weapons, so maybe that could illustrate again that it really is something to worry about when these warriors get into your backline. And I guess in an ordinary fight, in an average fight, normally it would not be something to really worry about that much, but in this case it really is. Also, I'm pretty sure that these Ministry of Purity guys actually revive automatically. I couldn't find any information on that, but I believe they do. I think this is the sort of fastest way to get through this mission, by the way. Perhaps there's another route that fights slightly less enemies, but I actually believe this is the most convenient one. And also, I guess this kind of goes without saying, but just making sure, the warriors are dangerous because of their AoEs from Splinter Weapon. So this will also be seen early on in the next quest. If you are in a position where you can block the warriors by yourself, as long as the warrior does not have more than one target surrounding them, they are perfectly safe. There's not much they can do. They have some standard attacks, but they're not that dangerous, really. Oh yeah, incidentally here, that group on the right, it can patrol into the fight, so I would advise doing what I do and taking them out before you engage the main boss group. It doesn't always work out. I'd say you probably want to be careful, but fighting two groups, having a third then attack you from behind is not the most fun. And here you can see, guess some of the Ministry of Purity minions pulled the next group, but yeah, it's the other one was already mostly dead, so it's not an issue. Plus, we do have a bunch of allies, and while they are not super powerful, they actually have decent builds. I mean, they have Winds of Change builds, which have been, well, they have been more well thought out than builds in the base game have been. Let's put it that way. So here we kill Ganshu the Scribe. He's not that dangerous. He's a monk boss. He has, I think, Word of Censor as his elite. Not really anything to worry about. Again, the most problematic are actually the warriors. And, I don't know, they're not Superman, but they are threatening. Okay, that really is all you have to do for this quest. It's not terribly long or difficult, so guessing that's it. Best of luck.